feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad you were able to listen this week. Thanks for joining us on the Feels Like Home podcast. This week, we've got Tom Johnson, who is from Two Roasting Joe's, coffee roaster here in town. A little bit of a story about how it's really just one Roasting Joe, but some interesting things in that regard, plus just about his coffee journey and some fun stories along the way that he has. And so we hope that you sit back, relax, probably with a cup of Two Roasting Joe's, and enjoy our conversation with Tom. But we are really excited to have Tom Johnson from Two Roasting Joe's here today. How do I are you the dean of coffee roasters? Like you were here before it was super cool.
Wow.
So
that's quite a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I got no offense to the people that came after you, but you were like one of the first people that I knew did roasting of coffee in town. So
I kind of equate it to what specialty breweries have become.
Yeah. You're right.
I started 14 years ago, and it was very unique at that time. So I probably could have named most of the roasters in Ohio then, and I couldn't even come close now.
Right.
So, yeah.
You'd have to have a big stack of paper that, you could read off of, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody with a hot air popcorn popper has become a roaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little upset with the Ohio Department of Agriculture because I went through all the hoops and the bells and the whistles and built a facility on my property to pass their inspections. Because in order to sell coffee at that time, you had to do that. And then 6 months later, they made it a cottage food industry, which means anybody could do it in their garage and just write home produced on it. So I'm like, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, the government, they're here to make it easy.
Well, sure. Why not? So. Yeah, why not?
So how did you start in that journey towards coffee and roasting?
Okay. So here's the story. This is how it all began. My neighbor and I were in the backyard, and we were just having a little sit-down chat one evening, and we were talking about coffee, and he mentioned some guy that he worked with that roasted his own coffee beans. And I remember saying, what are you talking about? You can't roast your own coffee beans. In my mind, coffee roasting was something that happened in some huge facility with these great big machines, and it wasn't something the average person could do. So we hopped on the internet, and within a week, we had a little tiny coffee roaster that would roast enough green beans to make one pot of coffee.
Okay, nice.
And I was hooked. I just knew right then, this is so cool. I just absolutely fell in love with it. So we started doing a little bit more. And then within 6 months, Brian said, I don't really want to do this anymore. And I said, I do. And so here I am, 14 years later.
14 years.
And it kind of started out as Two Roasting Joe's.
Yeah. His name's Brian and my name is Tom.
Yeah.
We're not quite right.
Well, I mean.
That's right. But the play on coffee, right?
Well,
Cup of Joe.
Actually, we decided to have a website, but we didn't have a business name, that's kind of important. If you're going to have a website, you might want to put a name on it, right? So we got a notepad and we were scratching stuff down, and we couldn't agree on anything. And the marketing guy and me finally said, okay, Brian, who are we and what do we do? And he said, we're just two average Joes that roast coffee. And I said, that's it. We're Two Roasting Joes. And I saw the look on his face, and I knew right then that was it.
Yeah.
I knew we had it. So
that's great.
And I've maintained that because I think it sounds better than One Roasting Joe.
Yeah.
So it sounds more powerful.
That's right.
Well, I mean, you're cutting staff already, right? Like, how do we trust you if you're cutting staff already?
Exactly.
You went from 2 to 1 now.
Right.
Cut it by 50%. So what were you doing before this became the passion and then the business?
Yeah, I've had a series of marketing and sales jobs throughout most of my life, most of it in advertising. At that moment, I was with a company that did real estate advertising. And I was one of 20 people that traveled around the country and did marketing presentations for real estate companies. And that was a time when the real estate market was going the wrong direction.
Right.
And I knew it was kind of short-lived for me. So the timing was pretty good to look at getting out. So you
mentioned, like what you had to do just to start doing it. Obviously, you advanced from that little roaster
A little bit, yeah.
onto something else. So
Yeah.
what was that progression like? And, how did you come up with the capital to do those things? And
I'm pretty well self-funded.
Okay.
I was able to manage my money and be smart and take care of things and not overextend myself, which was something that I saw a lot of small businesses doing, and that's why they failed. And so I was very careful, being very cautious. I went through, for anybody who's listening out there, if you're thinking about starting a small business, go to the OSU South Center in Piketon, go to the Chamber of Commerce, go get help. Don't think you can just open up a storefront and everything's going to be okay. Right. It does not work that way. So I was very fortunate to hook up with some people at the OSU South Center in Piketon. We sat down and talked. They had a business plan competition one year, and I entered that. And got I actually got first place in Ross County, second place in Southern Ohio. So that gave me the courage and the strength to kind of here's how I'm going to do it and how to do it moving forward. So,
and your business plan was not to open a coffee shop.
No,
and that's unique. I think a lot of people think of it like, if you're going to do that, then why not open a coffee shop? You initially just went out, roasted your beans, and then sold them or ground them and then offered them at farmers markets and such.
Farmers markets and grocery stores and coffee shops.
Yeah.
I witnessed, sadly, over the time, first 5 years I started, I still kind of thought I wanted to have a coffee shop at that time, but I watched too many coffee shops open and close.
Right.
And I thought I don't want to jeopardize my family or my livelihood by investing in something and like I said, not working out. So I knew what I was doing was working. I was able to make a living doing that. So, and then my daughter went to culinary arts school and took a couple of jobs, and became a pastry chef, and she wanted to open a bakery. So that's why we ended up teaming up where we are now.
Yeah. On North High, right?
On North High Street. Yeah. So.
And we'll kind of get to that in here a little bit too, because I definitely want to talk about Olivia and the cakes and so on. But the farmers market thing has really kind of blossomed as well. I remember you kind of just being a Chillicothe farmers market staple. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I hear, oh yeah, he's going to Grove City and all these other places. How many different farmers markets do you go to now?
In the summer, I'm doing 5 a week.
So you're 5 days a week at farmers markets. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Where are all the ones you go to?
Hilliard, Grove City, or not, I'm sorry, not Grove City, Bexley, and downtown Columbus. Okay. So,
wow. That's pretty amazing to think about. Yeah. And do your sales do pretty well in those places too?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Farmers markets are great for anybody who's looking at starting a small business. You don't want to invest in a storefront. It's a great way to test new products, get feedback from customers, see what people like and don't like. You're putting yourself in front of people and actually getting that one-on-one feedback, which is just, I think, absolutely wonderful. Yeah. And it's a tremendous help anybody starting a business. So.
Yeah. I feel like farmers markets, it lends itself to that communication, the conversation. Right. Every time I go on Saturdays, which is a lot, especially in the summer. Yeah. I feel like that every booth, people are so friendly there, and there's just this expectation of conversation and, where are you from? And so it gives you a chance to have that feedback instantly is really nice.
No, it's wonderful. You're dealing with people who love to do what they're doing. Yeah. And I think that's what makes farmers markets so exciting. It's far different than going to a box store where people are there and getting paid by the hour and maybe don't want to be there some days, but
probably have 3 other things to do at the time that you're talking to them.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
I mean, the only other thing that you have to do when I go there is that you have to talk baseball with me.
Yes. So yeah. Especially if it's the Mets or the Reds. Yes.
That's exactly right. And Walker, of course, will always get the coffee, and then he wants me to guess every
amazing.
Time. So, and I think that's part of the fun of it too, is just, when you go there and you see people's families and you get to know them and things like that. I mean, you actually had an employee, technically, I don't know if it's an employee or just somebody that you pay, but Ben Thomas has been.
And he became the guy this summer.
Yeah, he sure was.
But if he wasn't there, people want to know where's Ben at. So I kind of became second fiddle.
That's fun.
Hey, that's not too bad though.
No, it's great. It's great. It freed me up to do some other things too, which was nice.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. So how many different flavors of coffee do you roast?
Well,
I imagine you can do anything.
I'm going to back you up a little bit. I'm not actually roasting flavors.
Okay.
I'm roasting the coffee beans, and then I flavor afterward.
Sure.
And you know what? I have so many. I'm not sure. I'm just going to guess.
Yeah.
I think I have about 17 different kinds of beans, from Brazil to Guatemala, Colombian, Peru, Mexico, Sumatra, Timor, stuff like that. So, and that can change a little bit up or down one way or the other. So,
do you go to a specific coffee producer that gets you those beans? Or
most of my beans are coming from Copon Trade in Houston, Texas. They've been real good to me. We've had a great working relationship over the years, and so that's where I get most of them from. I get a few from a place in Cincinnati and some more on the East Coast if I can't get what I need from them, but most of them come from there. So.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the way that you kind of do the flavored coffees and things like that, which I will say that the Drunken Pumpkin is one of my favorite. It merges what my wife loves about fall pumpkin and bourbon, which is what I love about every day. So
it's one of the fun things we do is play around with flavors. I have a great time with that, and the names are humorous and people enjoy that. So I'm trying to think how many flavors we have now. That's a growing list too. I think it's 35 different flavors that we offer with Christmas flavors and other holiday stuff. So
so you have some that are just seasonal. You only do them.
We'll put them on the store shelves.
Gotcha.
Seasonally, but I'll make them anytime. If somebody calls me tomorrow and says, "Hey, that Santa Secret is my favorite. Will you make me a bag of Santa Secret?" Yeah, absolutely. We'll make you a bag of Santa Secret.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So,
because I know you do like Irish cream during March and leading up to St. Patrick's, and of course all the stuff that you do for fall and Christmas. But
we got a lot of Valentine flavors out right now too, which are fun. So,
what do you try to do for like Valentine's Day?
Just most of it's funny names. We got a toasted cinnamon nut that I call Hunka Burnin' Love, and stuff like that. So it's just fun. You're making me crazy, and
I forget what Jen has upstairs.
I need to get some more. I think I just ran out not too long ago.
Yeah, well, I know where you can get some.
I do too.
I'll hook you up.
I just got to do it.
I'll hook you up, man.
Do you roast at the location on High Street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's where all the roasting is done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so no longer on your property.
Yeah. So when we've
shed out back or anything.
No. Haven't done that for a long time. So, the first 2 months we opened, I think 3 times I had either the fire department or the police knocking on the door about 11 o'clock at night. Your building's on fire. I'm like, no, I'm just roasting coffee, man. I'm sorry. Come on in. I'll show you.
Yeah. Can I get you a cup, right?
Well, they would see the smoke coming out of the back of the building. Sure. It was a new thing. Nobody knew what we were doing there.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of fun.
And how did the High Street location kind of come about? I mean,
wow. That was, we probably, Olivia and I probably spent a couple of years looking around, just trying to think what we wanted to do. I'm a slow guy. I don't move too fast. So, we're just trying to figure out a location. We wanted parking. That was kind of important to us, and a fairly convenient location. And that just happened to come open at the right time. So that's where we went.
Yeah. Of course, it was the Circle K, which had a sort of nefarious reputation because it seemed like they were getting robbed all the time. But you seem to be unscathed with that.
Well,
so maybe you don't offer cigarettes or beer or things like that.
We don't, and we're not open at midnight. And I actually talked to some people before we went there, and it wasn't all what we thought it was. Yeah. So a lot of inside stuff going on.
Yeah, that's after the fact. That's kind of what you heard.
Yeah. Yep. When it's 12 o'clock at night and you're working by yourself, and you say, "Hey, buddy, why don't you come over and rob me? We'll split the cash."
Right.
That's not, that's theft to me. That's not actually a robbery, but it looks like a robbery. So.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just too many. There were too many in a short period of time, and I went to the other gas stations in the drive-thru. Nobody else had been robbed. I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah.
And so the High Street location, again, got you the opportunity to work with Olivia, let her in there. She does and sells some of her things on a daily basis and does her cakes for the gigs that she gets, and then you sell coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, it works really well together. She loves doing custom cakes and being creative and decorating things, and gives us a storefront to display her talents and, a place for me to sell my coffee too. So
yeah. And I think just like everybody else, the pandemic probably hit you guys pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's been difficult to find employees and keep employees and things like that. Yeah. So how did that change your hours and things like that?
Wow. It's been a pretty fluid situation, as you can well imagine. And what I have found is if you find the right people, you're good.
Yeah.
You got to find the right ones. And we've got some really good people working for us right now. And, not everybody has that luxury. So we're very fortunate, but it has affected our hours. We did have to cut back some and reduce some of the things we were doing, some of the offerings, because they just didn't have the traffic that we had before.
Yeah. Because were you doing lunch?
We toyed with breakfast sandwiches for a while, and that actually was starting to do pretty well pre-COVID. And then that just, the morning traffic went away, and it just wasn't working anymore. So
people weren't going anywhere.
No.
So
I remember the breakfast sandwich, the spicy breakfast sausage sandwich.
She had some good stuff, man.
That was good stuff. I missed that a little bit. I guess that mid-morning burn in my stomach probably has kept me going through my mornings, I guess. And as she has sort of developed her cake business, it felt like a really good marriage of the two.
Yeah.
But at the same time, obviously she's doing her own thing and doing cakes for weddings and parties and things like that. Is her business starting to pick up again now too?
Yes, thankfully. Yeah. People are starting to do things again, celebrate in a little bit bigger fashion than they had been. So everything prior to this has been scaled down dramatically. Weddings are smaller, birthday parties are fewer and smaller. And so,
yeah. The good news is you're right next to the Corzine Dog Park.
Yeah,
which probably gets you a little bit of traffic too.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's kind of a zen-like thing for me too. I love just looking out and watching the people and the dogs and having a good time. And if you're having kind of a tense or stressful day, just look at the dog park. You'll relax immediately. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So, getting to back to coffee, I have a question about your coffee journey.
Okay.
So you started roasting, but before that, you obviously had a love for coffee. How did you develop that? Because so many people have their own, I have my own coffee journey. I didn't start drinking coffee until about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I really dove into the chemistry of it and, what you probably do with roasting beans.
Right.
And so how did you go from Maxwell House and Folgers type of coffee to where you're at now with Two Roasting Joe's?
With the sales jobs I've had in the past, pre-roasting, I always loved going into small towns and checking out coffee shops. So I've had a passion for coffee for quite a while. In fact, that's where I kind of thought I wanted to have a coffee shop at some point. And to me, it seemed like one of the last few things a self-employed person could do and express themselves in a creative way. I saw Jimmy Buffett themed coffee shops. I saw, all kinds of different things that people were doing and just kind of being themselves and expressing themselves in a creative fashion. And I just thought that was so cool. So I've had a passion for coffee for a very long time. Yeah.
Do you see, now that we can kind of breathe a little bit from the pandemic and everything that's happened and you're kind of getting your groove back.
Yeah.
Do you see your business expanding in a certain way?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
And for me, a good part of my revenue comes from outside of the storefront, which I think is critical for my business.
Yeah.
I would like to expand my wholesale business. I've bought a second coffee roaster so I can double my production. And I just need to find the time and the energy to go out and get some more stores under my belt. So
yeah.
How many stores are you in now? Because I'm surprised.
Marty,
I've surprised myself walking in someplace and go,
yeah.
Wow. I was afraid you were going to ask me that question.
We won't hold you to it.
Let's just say it's around 12 to 15.
Okay.
Right. Somewhere in that range.
I didn't know how far away you were. Where's your furthest place you're delivering?
Well, I'll tell you a real quick fun story. Okay. JR's General Store in Bainbridge.
Okay.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my favorite customers. They've been buying coffee from me for years, and they're just delightful people to do business with. And the lady that runs the grocery and places the coffee orders, I think it was September, she said, well, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. We're taking a trip north to Michigan. We're going to stop and see some people in Michigan. We're going to stop at this store and this store. And I said, so I grabbed her a bunch of bags of coffee and said, why don't you just take this coffee with you and take this brochure and just drop that off for me? She said, are you serious? I said, you don't want to deliver that far? And I said, well, no, I don't want to, but UPS will take it there for me. So about 3 weeks later, I got a phone call from Norma Miller at Great Lakes Bulk Foods, and she said, man, we've been drinking your coffee. It's so wonderful. Will you ship us some? I'm like, sure. So they've been placed a few orders with me recently, which has been great. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just a whim, I really hadn't even thought about it. Just, I knew she was going there, and I said, Roseanne, would you take this for me? And she said, sure. So there you go.
Well, I mean, you don't know until you take the shot, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and it's a product that travels well.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you could throw it in a box and ship it UPS or whatever. And it's not like they're ordering a whole truckload of it. It's right. Yeah. That's great.
It's important to note that you don't have employees that roast coffee for you. You do the roasting.
I do.
Yeah.
I need to yield to that at some point. I just haven't.
No, I guess
it's hard for me to let go. I'm a pretty much hands-on control kind of guy. And
sure.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs probably are that way,
right?
To their own detriment sometimes. It's something that's hard for me to let go of.
Yeah.
I think about all the things that could go wrong. So
and
instead of all the things that could go right, which is a shame.
And then the expense of a bag of green coffee beans, over roasting them. And
throwing it out I know.
Well, and there's a bit of artistry to it too, though, right? I mean, like you have to kind of master it a little bit, right?
Every bean's a little different.
Yeah.
And being consistent with your roast is kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
So it's something that I have a tough time letting go of. So that's why I had to weigh the cost of paying somebody to roast and training them to roast and the fear that they might leave me in 6 months or a year or something like that versus just getting another roaster and doubling my efforts when I'm doing it. And so I went that route. I can trust myself and take time to do it. So
that's probably a fear that every roaster
I would guess
goes through. At the beginning of my coffee journey, like a few weeks after I tried coffee for the first time, that's actually way better than I was expecting. I went to Washington, D.C. and with a group of guys, and we went to a major coffee producer there in Washington, D.C. that has a coffee shop just around the corner from the White House. I'm losing the name now, but they had 3 gigantic roasters in this back room behind their coffee bar.
Right.
With these big windows, and one of them, like, it looked like a 57 Chevy of, you could tell
classic.
It was a classic, but it was a turbine. I mean, it was gigantic. And they were doing like 100 pounds of coffee at a time. Yeah. And so we did a cupping there, and we're like, we really want to see what's going on at the roasting.
Right.
So we jump back there and they give us a tour, and this guy's talking about this Dietrich, maybe the name brand.
Dietrich is a brand name for roasters,
But he was talking about how old this machine was, and it was like the Cadillac. And I'm like, well, I described it as a 57 Chevy because it was painted turquoise, and it was really cool. But what was crazy about that is the guy that was roasting, he was there as an intern, and he looked familiar, and he's like, "Hey, you guys ever in Athens, Ohio?" I'm like,
"No way."
Yeah. He's like, "Are you guys?" I'm in a band. I was like, "Are you guys in a band together?" I'm like, yes. What is happening? And he's like, he said, "I'm from Athens. I went to Ohio University, and I think you guys played music at this, it was Crusade. It was a Crusade event."
Yeah.
And recognized us. And so then we got like the deep tour.
You got the real tour.
Yeah. And it was fantastic. So I didn't mean to sidetrack, but so what kind of capacity does your roasters have? And
I'm doing 8 pounds at a time.
8 pounds at a time.
Yeah. That's so 100 pounds is huge.
But that's still, 8 pounds of coffee. That's a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Beans.
Yeah.
So now you're doubling that.
I don't have the second roaster hooked up yet, but it's
okay.
Soon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So your hope is to have that second roaster up and running before the summer gets around, and you're going
yes,
a lot more of these farmers markets, right?
Yeah.
This is big. Horizon Fiber Internet is ready.
Let them get you hooked up and power your Wi-Fi network
with the speed and reliability that only a 100% fiber network can do.
Horizon is ready to help you do what you do better, with real people, real rates, and a real service.
Connect with them today, and the first month is free, plus no contracts and no data caps. Call 740-772-8331
or visit horizonconnects.com/chillicothe to sign up today. Are there more opportunities for farmers markets in the area? I mean, you said you were going to 5, but
yeah, I probably maxed out for what I'm capable of doing myself.
Start sending Ben to these other ones.
Well, Ben's getting his driver's license in March. I mean, and I'm talking about this publicly with you without having talked about to Ben. So
enough said. You don't need to commit to anything.
He's 15, almost 16.
He would be 16, I think, in March.
He's probably not listening to our podcast.
No, probably not.
Safe.
His mom might, though. I don't know. We know his mom pretty well, too. So.
Yeah, Gwen, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Gwen does listen.
So how did the two of you stumble into each other? Do you live near him, or does?
Oh, okay. So I've known Gwen for quite a few years.
Okay.
And okay, so one Saturday morning, we were talking about employees and staffing. Mm-hmm. All right. One Saturday morning, I went to the farmer's market. 7:00, started setting up. My daughter called and said, so-and-so just called in. They're not coming to work today. We have nobody in customer service. I've got wedding cakes I need to finish, and I can't do customer service and the wedding cakes. So I had to I left my air pots of coffee with Mandy Way, and I said, just give people cups of coffee.
Yeah.
I got to go. So Gwen and Ben stopped at the market and kind of was asked around, what's going on? Why isn't Tom here? And so Mandy Way told Gwen what happened. And that afternoon they stopped in the shop and said, Ben would like to work for you. I said, that's pretty cool. I hadn't thought about that, but let's give that a try.
Yeah.
And it's just been amazing. I mean, it's just one of those things where community is helping people and, assering assistance.
He's a great kid.
In a way, he's a great kid.
He really is.
He plays guitar in the worship band at church.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. He talks about playing guitar a lot. Yeah. So yeah,
he's like Mr. Coffee Jr. now.
He is.
Although that's probably copyrighted. I probably shouldn't say that. Sorry, whoever owns that trademark. My bad. There's definitely somebody that owns that trademark. I know that for
probably. Yes,
so I should know better than that. But.
Probably the DiMaggio family.
That's right. Boy, those are the days, right? Well, that's interesting. That's a great story because listen, that's a hustle play, right? Okay, I see this need. Let me try to fill it.
Yeah,
helps you out. He's become sort of your eyes and ears at the farmers market here. Allows you to do some other things, which is good.
And he was there working this afternoon, packaging coffee for me. So so it's been great.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
that's why I said finding good people is the key. And when you find them, you just got to do everything you can to hang on to them. So treat them right and be kind and fair. And
boy, that is the truth. That is the truth. I think we've learned that lesson through the pandemic. Some folks that probably didn't feel like they were getting that treatment aren't going back to the places they went.
No.
And some of them have decided, you know what, I'm going to go out and be somebody else's boss, but I'm going to learn the lessons, from the lessons that to do the opposite of what I was taught. In some regards. So, but, obviously it's being, kind of first into the game here. Mm-hmm. Now, many more coffee shops have opened and things like that. But I know that some places are serving your coffee downtown. I think High Five Cakes does.
Yeah.
And
Charlestown House, Bell's Farms.
Yeah.
New System Bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you at New System. That's where.
Yeah. So that's got to be kind of nice to, you're not downtown, but you're still part of the downtown game. And, I know that Schlegel's was one of the first places that I remember having your coffee on a regular basis where I wasn't grinding my own and, making it, which is kind of neat. So,
yeah, Liz gave me a really great opportunity there. So it was nice. In fact, she's the reason I started making flavored coffees.
Is that right?
Yeah. I really didn't know what I was doing.
You're like,
I hate
just
saying that, but
beans. Okay, that's enough.
Well, I was kind of a purist. I was a little, snob. I'm like, I don't like flavored coffees. So, but she said, you got any flavored coffees? I'm like, no, but I'll figure it out. So we did.
So then you just had to experiment and figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the way it works, though, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of like a bartender making their drinks, or chefs.
Yeah.
You have to experiment a little bit and determine. Now it might be a little expensive to experiment too much, I guess. But
give myself a little pat on the back because I forget to tell this story, and shame on me for doing that. I've been doing it so long. When I first started researching flavored coffees, one of the things that I heard from most people was get the cheapest coffee beans you can find and then flavor it, and nobody will know the difference. I had so many bitter flavored coffees I've tried, and aftertaste was horrible on some of them. I thought, this is not what I don't want to put my name on that.
Right.
So I used 100% Colombian beans, the best Colombian beans I could get. And it costs more, but it's something that I could feel good about selling. And I think that's why we've done really well with flavored coffees. We're using really, really good coffee beans as a base. It's coffee you would drink without the flavoring in it. So, yeah.
Well, quality usually stands apart, right?
Absolutely.
So, and you're not using the flavoring to cover up.
Right. Not to mask it. Yeah. It enhances it.
Yeah. It enhances it. Yeah. Which is, you're right. That's probably different than what most companies selling.
Well, when you get bigger companies, it's about bottom line and how am I going to cut costs. And so,
you also, so for the non-purists out there, Tom does offer a 1-cup option for his coffees, which I think is valuable to me. I'm the only person in my family that drinks coffee.
Right.
So it's hard for me, although I still buy the beans sometimes and grind them myself and then put them in my Keurig. But you do offer the cups, which is really nice as well. The Joe cups. Yes.
Yeah.
And how did that come about? Like, did you have to go out and find that technology somewhere?
Okay. You want to hear another really crazy story?
Yes.
All right. So I knew that the patent was getting ready to expire with Keurig, which meant at that time, the only companies that could sell K-cups or Keurig cups was Keurig. Nobody else could sell them.
Right.
But the patent was about to expire and the market was going to explode when that happened. So I thought, well, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I started calling around, and everybody wanted you to ship them 50 pounds of coffee. They would grind it and package it and ship it back to you in boxes. And by the time they were done, there was no way to make money. It wasn't even possible. Yeah. And on top of that, I thought, what if it doesn't sell, or what if it goes bad or gets stale or sits on the shelf too long? This is just not going to work for me. So I spent a lot of time on the internet trying to find something very simple, which is a heat sealer that when you put the cups in and you put the foil lid on, you pull the lever down that seals the lid on the cups. Couldn't find one anywhere except China. And I started communicating with this guy on the internet. His name is Ken. We're Facebook friends to this day, which is hysterical to me. But we worked out a deal. I knew what size cups I had. They had to drill the thing to specs and everything for the plate. And it was going to cost $1,700. And they would not take a credit card. They would not take a check. I had to bank transfer money to their bank before they would build it. I will never forget the look on Rhonda's face when I went to LSCMB and said, here's what I need to do. And she said, are you sure? Because if you won't get your money back.
There's no getting that
There's
back.
no recourse if they decide they don't want to do this. I said, yeah, you got to take risk if you're in business. And this is something I need. I know I want to have this. And so we bank transferred the money, and 3 weeks later, it was on my front porch. So, and I'm still using it to this day. I've done I had some maintenance work to it, but gosh, I've had that for 8 years, 8 years.
Nice.
Now. So, yeah, fun.
Well, and I mean, especially because, one of I think your great selling points for your coffee is, look, when you buy those beans at a store or whatever, like you don't know when that was produced or everything else. When you place an order with me, I'm roasting your coffee and sending it right out.
Right.
And for you to try to do that with these cups and send it to someplace else, that would have defeated that whole purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the great thing about the way we're doing it too is that we can make anything you want. If you say, that Nutty Irishman is really wonderful, but I want it in decaf, not only can we make it in a decaf bag, I can put it in cups for you for the Keurig too. Yeah. So I can make any coffee we have in the store, I can put in cups.
Yeah.
So I like to be able to, I like that customization for my customers. It makes me feel good. So
yeah. Well, I think it probably gets you a lot of repeat business.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, because of that.
Yeah, I get texts every day. Can you make me some more of these, or make some, some of this, or so?
Yeah.
I had no idea you were doing that.
Oh, really?
So
Marty, this has been revealing. I love this.
Well, here's the thing. I have an espresso machine upstairs. I don't know if you noticed it in the kitchen. That's for me.
Right.
My wife could care less. Every once in a while she'll go, will you make me a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
I'm Americano. I'm like, yeah, sure. I play barista for 2 minutes.
Right.
But there was also a Keurig, and that's her go-to.
Okay.
So I could go get custom Keurig cups from you.
Any flavor we make.
Yep. Holy cow, you just took care of like birthdays and Christmases for me. I had no idea. I apologize.
Now you just talked about it.
Yeah. Oh,
I gave
does
up.
she listen?
Yep, you gave it up.
She does not listen.
Oh, well,
to
then
the
you're good.
My wife does, but you want to hear a funny story? My wife does, and she gets mad at me, or not mad. She makes fun of me because I listen to our own podcast.
Oh.
Like, it's all quality assurance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're not listening to you to critique you. You're listening to everybody. You're probably Marty is the one, I'm guessing.
Well, usually the
like,
guest.
hey, we need to edit that out. You said what you said.
It's usually the guest, Tom. So.
Okay. Well, it's been fun, guys.
All right.
Oh man, that's great.
So, do you see yourself expanding past coffee? Do you think about tea, things like that?
Not tea, no.
Yeah.
The only thing that I see us doing, and I hate to announce this, but because I don't know how soon it'll happen, is chocolate. I have really great passion for good chocolate. And you can get cacao beans just the same as you get coffee beans and roast them. It's a little different process to roast. But the chocolate that you make directly from a cacao bean and making it in chocolate is amazing. Huh. The taste is just incredible.
I don't know that I've ever had it.
Oh,
so.
You probably bean to bar chocolate is a real treat.
I bet.
Yeah. And when Olivia was in college at Hawken College, and she started calling me and talking to me about that, they were studying it in college. We started kind of playing around with it. We made some for a while. We just need to get back to that. So. Yeah. And I was able, the cool thing for me was I was able to be blind taste tested and tell you where it came from. She gave me some Guatemala, and she said, what country is this? And I said, ooh, that's Guatemala. And she said, how do you know that? I said, it tastes a little bit like Guatemalan coffee. It has similar properties. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, you know? So
you said it's a different process, but could you still use your roaster to do it? Or is it
has to be
different?
Modified a little bit,
okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at as far as doing a
large batch,
a large scale. Yeah. Okay.
And that would be another investment, or?
Yeah. I've got a small roaster that we've used to play around with, but it's just not big enough to really,
to produce at the level that you'd want to sell. Yeah.
So
you
that's
start doing that,
though.
I could see that really taking off.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that certainly you're not going to get around every corner.
No.
Well, and I'd like to think if we go that route, I'm not saying for sure we're going that route, but not anytime soon. But when the ag inspector came in last time, I was asking her about it. She said, I don't know anybody else in Ohio that's doing that right now. So
yeah.
now I'm announcing it. There'll be 300 of them tomorrow. So yeah,
we'll clip
shame on me. Thank you. Yeah, good. Yeah,
I can edit that out of you.
Thanks, Marty. I appreciate that. Just between us. All right.
Yeah, us and the 200 or so people that are going to listen to it.
Well, it's a very labor intensive process.
Oh, it sounds like it. Yeah. What else are we not talking about?
I don't know, man. Now I want a cup of coffee.
Yeah. You could have Marty make you an Americano upstairs.
Let's do that.
That's the last thing he wants me to make him.
Oh, I don't know. I've heard about your Americano. So
yeah, we talked about it. Did we talk about it last week?
Oh, what?
With Corey, we just made them last week.
Yeah, there you go.
So
yeah, but that was a Saturday morning recording of the podcast.
that was.
To be honest
definitely.
with you, and I'd gone and grabbed Krispy Kreme too.
That's right.
Offered you guys Krispy Kreme as well.
Yeah, I don't see any donuts here, guys. Yeah. What's going on?
There's some Giovanni's pizza up there if you like.
There you go. There you go. Well, if we don't get you one way, get you the other.
I was responsible for dinner tonight, so we ordered pizza.
Well, Tom, I can't thank you enough for taking
guys,
the time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I think I
appreciate all you do for the community and supporting us and as small businesses. It's been wonderful. So
I'm happy to do it. Man, just keep doing it because I love what you guys have done over the years.
Thank you.
You and I feel like every Saturday.
Oh man,
it was the only thing I missed about Ben being there was like I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's Ben. Like, oh wait, Ben's a good kid. I shouldn't say that.
He's a great kid. Yeah.
So, but thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. I appreciate you having me. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm just glad that you cleared up the whole. I mean, this whole time I thought there were going to be two people at the podcast because it's two Roasting Joes. And so I'm just glad you cleared that up for me, Tom.
You're welcome, Marty. My pleasure, man.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it all